Alrighty, y'all, welcome back to another episode of Navajo TV. Today's episode, I'm going to be wiring up my trolling motor control box, the toggle switch for the trim actuator, and a voltmeter and 2 USB ports, along with relocating my batteries to the front hatch. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Alright, y'all, I hope y'all can see. It looks like y'all can see pretty well on my camera, or on my phone, from what I can see. Just so I can make sure that it's a good video. So, I'm gonna, as I'm doing this, I'm gonna kind of speed up the videos because a lot of this is actually gonna take me some time. Seeing as I don't have two hands, things are gonna be a little bit slower. But nonetheless, it should be easy enough to do, and should be a decent video. So, bear with me, y'all. So there's the switch. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and forward. Neutral, and then level 1, 2, 3 reverse. Crazy. And then depending on how I wire it, I will probably switch my wires around to down, up. So. Bam! That's the control box. So you got your speed control, trim control, and then this will display my volts, my voltage, and then I've got two 2.1 amp hours, or 2.1 amps at 5 volt USBs. I can use that to charge my phone. I have an Android, so that will not actually charge my phone, but I could at least use that to charge my GoPros, so that'll be good enough for me. Alright, so now I'm going to work on wiring in all of this into here. But actually, before I do that, I need to put these in here. So, I think I'm going to do them on the back here. One is going to go into the front for the the batteries. The other one's going to be going to the back to the, Jesus Christ. I know that was a yellow dauber or a mud dauber, but it came up on me. Anyway, battery, and then that goes to the trolling motor and the Alrighty, y'all. So now that I got all the wiring done, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up, kind of show you what everything looks like. It looks like a rat's nest, but honest to God, it's pretty decent. So you just open this up, and then you got all the wires. So, like I said, it looks confusing, but once you know like what wires are going to what, it's actually pretty simple. I will heat this down. I'm not finished yet, but everything works. I wired it up to the battery for a test run. The voltmeter works. Down, up works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all work, and then 1, 2, 3 work as well. The reason how I'm able to test that actually is because I have a power probe from back when I was a mechanic. So all I did was take my battery wires here that I neatly spun together. All I did was take my drill and put the ends in the drill and then just slowly turn until they were all spiraled up. Makes it a lot easier to work with. So anyway, just put these two ends to the battery, hooked up my power probe, and then tested the wires individually at the end of this marine wire. So, like I said, voltmeter works, toggle switch works, and speed control works. I'm not going to go ahead and film me trying to test fit everything. I'm going to go ahead, figure out what I like, where I want it, and before I start cutting this to length, depending on where I put the battery, the quick connect for the battery. And once I figure that all out, I will pick back up there. I don't want to bore you with a bunch of me trying to figure out what I actually want to do. Plus that'll take up a lot of battery and a lot of memory. So I'll see you in a bit. Alrighty, y'all. I've got the control box finished and everything is working perfectly. I did actually get to take it out yesterday and test everything out in the water. I was also testing a leak test there in the back, but just to give you a quick demonstration of everything working. So when I press this toggle switch down, or not down, up, it'll actually start moving my motor down. Now, if y'all can see, the motor starts going down, and this will allow me to adjust the depth of my trolling motor to get better speeds depending on the conditions. If it's real choppy, I can get down deeper, and if I'm in shallow water and shallow calm water, I can raise it back up. So we're gonna go ahead and let that finish rolling up. All right, so now that the motor's back up, go ahead and show you the trolling motor speeds. So you got 1. I know y'all probably can't tell, but you know, you got 2, 3, 4, and 5. Y'all might be able to hear it. I can hear the motor from here. If my mic picks it up, maybe y'all can. And there's neutral, and then 1 reverse, 2 reverse, 3 reverse. And of course I got my voltmeter here that tells me how many volts I have. Right now it's at 12.4. When I ran this yesterday, I ran it for about an hour. The majority of the time I was at full speed. I haven't charged this in a while, and this battery meter still says I'm at 100%. So 2 35 amp hour batteries for a total of 70 amp hours. That's pretty good. To show you where I've got it in the hatch up here. Nothing fancy, just sits up here inside the hatch, ran in parallel, so that I'm still running 12 volts. So nothing crazy. And then, like I said, I've also got a plug for here, so I can unplug the box from the power source, and I can also unplug it from the trolling motor. So I can pull this box completely out of the kayak so that it doesn't get wet. I also have it in the middle of the kayak with me, where I can also shove it up underneath the seat if I'm, messing with a fish right here, and it's, obviously the fish is wet. it's not going to drip into the box and ruin anything that can't get wet. But that's it on the control box. And then, like I said, I just got the wire back here that runs the trolling motor and the actuator. Another cool thing I did, I'm still trying to find a better, more permanent fix for this, is to hold this up while I'm traveling. So right now I just take this and I hook it there, and that secures my trolling motor up while it's in transport. So that way I don't, wear out this hinge. So that's a pretty neat idea. And then eventually I'm going to upgrade the blade to a motor guide 3-blade, and I will eventually change my steering from this flagpole system to the foot rudder system. But that'll be in another video on how I do. Alright, so to get on with the rest of the video, I'm going to actually put the camera on the tripod and go through my setup for my my fish finder. Again, it is a used model. It's a very old model. Well, I don't know actually how old it is, but definitely not one of your fancy brands. But it was free, so can't beat that. So I'll see you on the tripod. Alright, y'all, for the most part this is done. I know y'all saw in the clip just before this that I used a Milwaukee tool battery. That is just for the time being. I'm actually waiting for my fish finder battery to show. So basically, now that it's all, now that it's all in, this, this unlatches the pod from the kayak. So you just lift this up, and there's, as you can see, the sonar, and then the fish finder itself, and it just sits right in there. And push that wire in there, and that way it's not snagged. Latch this back on there, and that's it. So I would, find my music box there. Pause that. So now, yeah, I don't have this on a very sturdy thing here. So now I got my fish finder, and I just hit power, and everything's connected. So obviously there's no water. It says, right now it's reading that there's 3 feet. Well, now it's 0 feet below me and everything, but turn the brightness up, sensitivity, depth range, zoom, chart speed, fish alarm, all the way up, depth alarm, filter setup, and light. So it's, like I said, it's a very basic, very old style fish finder, but it works. It tells me where the fish are at, and that's all that matters. So installing the battery really isn't going to be much. There's no point in really showing that part of the video, because it's literally taking those 2 terminals off of that and connecting them to the battery. so there's not much to it. But that's my fish finder. And then you just hold that and it turns off. Oh, maybe not. Hold up. Shutting down. There we go. Alright, so now it's off. And that is it. Oh, I also got in my bungee kit from FeelFree. These orange tabs were broken when I bought this. In fact, they didn't even have the majority of them. So I went ahead and bought a new set so that I could have a bungee cord back here to store things. And it's pretty neat bungee cord kit. I mean, it's real simple, straightforward. A lot easier when you got two hands. But as far as the fish finder, like I said, for FeelFree's, it's called the Sonar Pod. And I mean, it's just that simple. It has a hole pre-drilled back here. You mount your sonar down, the transducer, sonar, whatever you want to call it. I think I've got mine backwards, so that's awesome. But and then you just run it through here, and you put your battery in the pod, and you're set. So that's pretty much it as far as the upgrade. So like I said, I got my new control box here. That'll give me my speed and mobility, since I can't paddle anymore. I will be installing paddle clips somewhere on here because these aren't worth a darn. But anyway, all right, y'all. Well, that's about it. I got the trolling motor fixed. I got the actuator fixed. I got the control box installed with the toggle switch for the actuator, voltmeter, battery meter, and the speed control. I also got the fish finder and the transducer installed, so the next time I go out fishing, I'll be able to see where the fish are at. So until next time, when you catch me out there fishing.